What's going on YouTube? It's your boy, and TikTok, Why Try Blaze, and we're here with another video. This is going to be the long form, and we're going to make shorter clips, and this is the new YouTube channel, so make sure you guys subscribe, okay? Because a lot of you are subscribed to the old channel, and you're not subscribed to this one, so make sure you subscribe to this channel. So we're going to get it going with this video right here. I really wanted to start off with this video because we all know about what's going on with the American Airlines flight, and if you don't, let me give you a little context. A Black Hawk helicopter, got to make sure I say that right, sounds like I'm saying something else, hit a American Airlines flight, and it landed. It was in DC, and it landed in the it starts with the P River. It's right there outside of DC, outside of the Reagan Airport, and so that's what's going on, which is obviously a very big deal, and everybody needs to know what's going on. But I want you guys to watch this video because it's actually really interesting, and he goes over a lot of really good points that I think make you raise some eyebrows at the very least and wonder what's really going on here, because the story that we're getting from the government is different than the one that if you use your own eyes, like where this flight took off from. That's one of the biggest things this guy talks about, is where this flight took off from, and I really want you guys to pay attention to that. So let's go ahead and get this clip going.
So you expect me to believe that a Black Hawk helicopter collided with an American Airlines flight in DC's most monitored and secure airspace? Yeah, it sounds like some fucking bullshit, especially when you just so happen to consider who was on board, which ironically were a lot of popular Russian personnel. Now,
and we also heard that on the flight, the American Airlines flight, they were not cyclists, skaters, figure skaters, and I don't know how old they were, but I saw a video of one of them doing a performance, and they looked like 2018, something like that, so fairly young. But anyway.
Now, as if that's not already fucking sketchy enough, you just so happen to look at the flight tracker, which I'll show you guys here in a second. But what I really want the attention to be on is where the helicopter took off from, which just so happens to be this address right here, which is 811 Lawton Street. And do you know what's located at that specific address? A whole shitload of properties that Saudi Arabian diplomats and scholars reside at. And when you just so happen to look at the specific owners, you might see that it's the Embassy of Saudi Arabia. Now, what's really interesting about this specific location, right, is the fact that one, a Black Hawk helicopter, for whatever fucking reason, took off from this location. And not only ignored air traffic control, but also flew directly into that airline. An airline of which 2 passengers were known to have tuberculosis on. I'm not specifically saying that that has anything to do with this scenario, okay? But there is a major tuberculosis outbreak that just so happens to be around that specific location of which that airline flew off from. So why wouldn't the US government utilize their good old Saudi Arabian buddies to take care of a potential crisis? Putting that aside, because that might just be a conspiracy.
Now, let me go ahead and say I'm not sure I mean, it's weird that it came from somewhere that is involved with the Saudi Arabian government, don't get me wrong, but that's a hard sell. But I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm just saying it's a hard sell. Let's keep it moving.
Theory for now. That specific location of which that Black Hawk took off from just so happens to ironically be the same exact location of which a Black Hawk that was rumored to be shooting people during the Las Vegas incident also flew off from as well. Now, this is the flight pattern of that helicopter.
And that's the first time I've actually ever heard of that. Him saying that about the plane. I've never heard that there was a plane shooting people out of the sky during the Las Vegas incident.
The orange plane being the helicopter, okay? Look at how many planes it just narrowly misses. Now, I know you can't tell the difference between altitude, but this isn't exactly coincidental, is it?
You can't tell the difference between altitude, but like he said, I mean, watch this one.
I mean, that's the third one right there.
Do you see that? It juts right in front of that other plane when it was going this way, and it goes this way and juts in front.
Sorry about the fucking ad.
Yeah, that is pretty annoying, isn't it?
And then this.
Now, it's weird that
it diverts its path off to the side. And then as you can see here in a second, it aims to go closer to the airport, but diverts its route as well. And then it just keeps flying directly towards that airline.
Yep, that's where it happens.
If you want some clarification and a full rundown about the Las Vegas incident, you can go check out Ian Carroll's profile on X.
So, okay. I don't follow Ian Carroll, but I've seen some of his stuff, and he actually does a really good job. So if you don't know Ian Carroll, you should go check him out. But yeah, so a lot of the information that he brings up is very interesting, like where the flight came from, the flight pattern. I mean, how do you explain all of that? And I want to be careful here, okay? So I'm not necessarily saying that it was a inside job and that it was a false flag operation. I'm not saying that, but I'm also saying it wasn't that. And we also need to consider that human lives were lost in this. So, you know, we want to apologize to those people and give our grievances to those people and understand that human lives were impacted by this. And, you know, there are some people, you know, family members of the people who were involved that were innocent and now are going to have to hear about this a lot. And that's unfortunate, but it's hopefully they can understand that it's part of a healthy system when you have dialogue about these types of things that are very important and going on. You have to be honest and you have to have difficult conversations. So hopefully they understand and hopefully they can get at least, you know, a little bit of peace. We're going to keep it rolling with the next clip though. So I think this clip is hilarious and I think you guys really should check this out. Bernie Sanders, Mr. Hothead over here, Mr. Hot Sauce in the face. Look at how beat red he is. He gets all fired up over RFK Jr. And now the whole of Congress is grilling him right now, except for Senator Rand Paul. Yeah, I think it's Rand Paul. Sorry. So other than that guy, everybody else has been grilling him because they don't want him in charge of our health. And the reason they don't want him in charge of our health is because things are going to get a little bit more expensive. We're going to have to change things in our system. Like all these companies that are used to using these dyes and these very cheap ways of getting bright colors into our food that cause cancer and cause diabetes and cause all of these awful things that happen to our bodies. Sanders understands that that's going to cost money and that's going to cost time and it's probably going to eat into his pocket and it's probably going to eat into his donations because the people that are feeding him money don't want that to happen, right? So they're lobbying hard, throwing money at Sanders, and I think it's hilarious because RFK Jr. actually brings that very exact point up right here, and I'm going to show it to you guys. Please, you got to watch this. It gave me a nice laugh.
I'm going to make America healthier than other countries in the world right now.
Will you guarantee do what every other major country does? That's a simple question.
And by the way, Bernie, the problem of corruption is not just in the federal agencies; it's in Congress too.
It's not just
Almost
in the federal agencies; it's in Congress too.
all the members of this panel are accepting, including yourself, are accepting millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry.
And
protecting their interests.
Oh, I thought that would no. I ran for president like you. I got millions and millions of contributions.
He tries to use the excuse of, I ran for president too. You didn't accept all the money that I accepted, but yeah, I ran for president too, so it's like totally the same thing.
They did not come from the executives, not one nickel of PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. They came from workers.
In 2020, you were the single largest
because I had
receiver of pharmaceutical money.
Who would be considered a worker and who would be considered part of the upper management or whatever he said, the industry? What would be the difference? It just be a title, so the person below donates all the money, or a few people below donate all the money? I mean, come on. Bernie, come on, man. You really think we're that stupid? Come on.
Contributions from workers all over this country. Workers, not a nickel from corporate
Bernie,
tax.
you were the single largest acceptor of pharmaceutical dollars.
No, from workers in
1.5 million.
Yeah, out of 200 million. All right, but you have not answered. Last question.
He is flustered, man. You know, I'm not gonna say that I love to see Bernie Sanders like that, but I'm not gonna say that I hate it either. You know what I mean? If you guys feel the same way about Bernie Sanders as I do, let me know in the comments, and please make sure you like and subscribe and follow if you're on TikTok. Every follow helps me out. We're trying to get to 100, so let's make sure we do it. I think it's pretty clear to see, everybody has noticed that Trump is not playing around anymore, and Trump is not apologizing, and he's not afraid of stepping on toes. So obviously we know about the situation with the airplane, and it's not good. And there's a lot of serious stuff going on, and there's a lot of speculation going on. However, there's a lot of speculation that isn't going on, like people unfortunately losing their lives in the accident and the seriousness of that and the people impacted. And so when a reporter is trying to grill Trump, Trump flips it back on him, and he tells him that it's DEI related, and just listen to what Trump has to say in response.
Under investigation. I understand that. That's why I'm trying to figure out how you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity.
And I'm keeping it on this screen because the quality when I do this is so bad. I don't think you guys want to see that. But if you do, if you'd rather it be big screen, let me know.
Had something to do with this crash.
Because I have common sense, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of people don't.
And that's he's not expanding upon it further because he doesn't have to. We all know DEI has been going on, and the government hasn't been silent in explaining it and talking about doing it. They've come out and said we're gonna do it, and they have been doing it. And I remember months ago when this was a problem, and we had DEI hires for air traffic controllers, and boom. Now, who's to say that's what's happened? I don't know. Is it a false flag where they're trying to use that as the excuse and say this is what's going on, and you guys were right, and it's not terrorism, or oh, it was terrorism, it's not DEI, and it has nothing to do with each other. It's going to be interesting to see what they try to come out and say. But anyway, sorry, let's keep this clip going.
We want brilliant people doing this. This is a major chess game at the highest level. When you have 60 planes coming in during a short period of time, and they're all coming in different directions, and you're dealing with very high-level computer work and very complex computers. And one of the other things I will tell you is that
So he's basically saying that the people that we've hired are incompetent and unable to do the job. So, and I'm not going to disagree.
Systems that were built, I was going to rebuild the entire system, and then we had an election that didn't turn out the way it should have. But they didn't build the systems properly. They spent a lot of money renovating a system, spending much more money than they would have spent if they bought a new system for.
Overspending on a budget? Wow, who would have ever thought the Democrats would do that? We couldn't have seen that coming.
Or air traffic controllers, meaning the computerized systems. There are certain companies that do a very good job. They didn't use those companies. They used companies that should not have been doing it. No, I think it's very important to understand that for some jobs, and not only this, but air traffic controllers, they have to be at the highest level of genius. Okay.
I mean, that's what, dude, say what you want about him. If you don't like him, if you didn't vote for him, and I'm not saying you have to like him, but that is a leader. And I mean, at the very least, if you look at the way Joe Biden talked and the way Joe Biden carried himself, and even Kamala, that's a leader. And, you know, I think it'll be interesting because we've already got the JFK files released. We've already got the MLK files released. And I think we all know Trump's going to do the right thing when it comes to this situation and what he finds out and what information comes to light. So we'll see. But I mean, we got faith in him. I think most of us do. He's been doing a good job so far. So I'm not sure why he wouldn't be able to handle something like this. So I'm actually going to watch this clip for the first time with you guys because I haven't watched it. But the thing about it is I saved it, and I wanted to save it for this in TikTok so you guys would be able to watch it with me. As the bodies are being fished out, CNN is subtly trying to blame the crash on President Trump. And I want to hear a raw reaction from this and see how you guys feel. Also, if you guys enjoy this content, make sure you follow and hit the like button. Every like and follow helps me out a ton, and we're trying to hit 100.
Mary, I have one more question for you. Look, it's January 29th. We are just 9 days out from a presidential transition, an administrative transition. The FAA administrator resigned at the end of the Biden administration, so there is no permanent confirmed FAA administrator.
Okay, she doesn't say why, though. She didn't say why he quit, which I think is interesting. I would definitely like to know.
Right now, this is going to be a time when there's going to be a lot of public communication and a lot of investigation of what happened here. What do you anticipate this transition period is going to mean for what happens today and tomorrow and in the coming days as we find out what happened here? Mary?
Okay, so I wouldn't really say this is definitely just clickbait. I don't understand. They didn't blame Trump for anything.
29th. We are just 9 days in. The FAA administrator resigned.
So she's basically trying to say that it's Donald Trump's fault for winning, that the guy quit. I'm not sure how that's blaming. If I'm missing something, you guys explain it to me in the comments, please, because I'm not understanding this. Like, please, if you're seeing something or hearing something I'm not hearing, clear it up for me. But anyways, this is the last clip of the day. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. I appreciate it. We're going to actually start doing like live political shows over on YouTube. And so if you want to catch that, make sure you go over to my YouTube. We just created the political YouTube. We're only going to be uploading political content, so it's not going to be Marvel Rivals or anything. So make sure you guys go do that. And yeah, have a good day.